Get a cup, get a cup, get a cup. Hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone, to another video on First Guest Limit. Today, we're going to be looking at Mike Tyson from 600 million to broke by Sunny V2. Now, if you weren't aware, I was aware that Mike Tyson was worth a lot of money. I wasn't aware it was that much, and I did know that he, I think, went broke. However, I think after the latest Jake Paul fight, he made 20 million from that, so he's not broke anymore. But anyway, with that being said, the original link's in the description. Let's begin.
$600 million over the course of 6 years. Mike Tyson celebrated
6 years? He made that?
His 36th birthday with a bank account reading 0. So how did Mike Tyson go bankrupt? Well, Tyson made it clear that a financial education wasn't a part of his childhood.
From a broke background, I never really learned the art of handling money as a kid.
That's very true. You know, a lot of people who win the lottery will end up going broke because they don't know how to handle it. They don't have the mentality of someone who has money. So if it's important to learn how to handle it and learn how to build wealth from a young age, because if you end up running into some kind of landfall or maybe a relative dies and gives you money, you're going to end up blowing it.
Which became a problem as he began to earn millions whilst he was still a teenager. After becoming champion at the age of only 20, Mike Tyson began to average 7.5 million per fight, and this didn't even include his other sources of income. He was paid over 50 million in casino deals, 3.5 million for a WrestleMania guest appearance, while Mike Tyson's Punch-Out sold 2 million copies during its very first year. By 1990, Mike Tyson was credited as the highest paid athlete in the world, with an estimated 28.6 million in income this year, although all of
That's crazy. That is crazy that he was making that much at such a young age. Actually, well, he said he was like 20 or something. That's so young. Most 20-year-olds who do make money will blow it because they don't, it's such a young age to have that kind of cash.
This changed when he was sent to prison only 2 years later. Between 1992 and his release in 1995, Mike Tyson was unable to earn a single dollar, although as summarized by this CBS.
See, if he had that money invested just in like something that tracks the general stock market or something that pays like some dividends that, tracks the market, that money would have grown exponentially. Like he would have been making millions every year while being in jail.
CBS article, he wasn't exactly struggling when he finally walked free. Most Indiana prisoners are given $75 in spending money to ease their transition back into society. Tyson needed no such help. The former heavyweight champion had 2 checks, each made out to him for $10 million.
What?
In the next few weeks, Tyson would get another $12 million for the rights to future fights and television. A few months later, he earned the most money ever given to a boxer, $25 million, to fight a stiff named Peter McNeely.
Holy crap. That's insane.
Over the next 2 years, Tyson earned a further $140 million from 5 different fights, making him feel invincible.
Money is a false sense of security.
False sense of security. Nothing about it could be a
You feel
real.
invincible with money.
Okay.
You feel like you can't even die.
Which, when combined with a bitterness from
This kind of reminds me of that boxer right now who's one of the best in the world. He retired, though. He's got, like, that kind of money. He was making, I think for one fight, I could be wrong here, but I think I heard for, like, one fight he made, I want to say, like, $100-ish million or $200 million, something like that, for one fight. Which that doesn't seem right, but I know it's a lot.
from his time spent in prison caused Tyson to begin spending everything.
For me being poor, never having anything, for me being bitter, angry for being in prison, it stems from a lot of things.
Firstly, there were the cars. According to CBS, Tyson reportedly bought 110 cars either for himself or as gifts, one of which being a $320,000 Bentley Azure, the most expensive production car in the world.
110 cars. Frick, that's like one for every other, every 3 days you have to be driving a different car. I couldn't imagine the storage space for that. That'd be a pain. You want to go to your car, but it's at like the end of the lot, so you gotta go like walking for like 20 minutes to get to the end.
Tyson bought it and ordered 4 more. In the space of a few minutes, he had spent more than 1.5 million, while in a different instance, Tyson showed up at a car dealership just outside New York to buy another car. He bought a Ferrari for $300,000, declining a test drive because he already had one just like it.
What's the point of that? What's the point of that? I don't need to test it. I freaking have one already. Why do you need another one? Look at all that. Did all the money spending make him happy and satisfy his soul? Nope.
On a different day, Tyson was pulled over whilst driving his Rolls Royce without a license, but was able to get out of trouble by giving the car to the cop.
You know, sir, why don't you just take the car? You know, you deserve it because you've been doing a lot. Because I didn't want to get arrested. I didn't have a license or anything. And I didn't want my wife to get in trouble.
Why didn't he have a license? You have 110 cars, or you bought 110 cars that you don't have a license? How does that even make... How would a dealer even let you test drive it if you don't have a license?
I said, why don't you just take it? You know, it was around 230 at the time, and they took it.
This didn't end well for the officer.
He got fired.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Although it did end well for Tyson's friend Ed Lover, who was given a Bentley so he could drive home from a club.
He goes, here, take the car. I'm like, okay. He gives me the Bentley. A month go by, I still have this car. He said, I wanted you to have that car. He said, I gave you that car.
With so many vehicles, Tyson...
That's very generous. However, I think it'd probably be worth it if he were to sell that car and then put that money into something that's going to generate him income, rather than just have like a $400,000 car sitting in your driveway losing value.
Needed somewhere to store them, purchasing mansions in Las Vegas, Ohio, and Maryland. However, these were nothing compared to the house he bought in Connecticut. It featured 21 bedrooms and 35 bathrooms, as well as a full-blown nightclub, a movie theater, a mini casino, a squash court, and a fully spec'd out proper commercial gym, but this was only the inside. Outside there was a full-size basketball court, a swimming pool with its own grotto, and get this, its own lake house, and fountain on a 17.6 acre block.
Hey, that's amazing, but I could not imagine the upkeep. Like, I hate cleaning where I am now. I hate it, and I don't do it that often. I probably should, but I don't. It's just like, because it doesn't end. It's not like you know, a tire breaks and you gotta change it and that's it, and you never have to do it again. You gotta do it like every couple days. It never ends. I could not imagine cleaning 20 bedrooms and 30 bathrooms or whatever it is. And then if you're not gonna do it, you gotta pay the staff, which you need full-time, like 5 people to maintain that property.
If the house looks familiar, it's because Tyson eventually sold it to 50 Cent, who called it his biggest financial mistake.
What was the most, like, when you wasted money? The Tyson crib was like that.
Mainly because of how much the property cost to run.
How much was the
This is what I'm wondering. Because of how big it is, the maintenance has got to be insane.
upkeep, guesstimate per year?
About $700,000
a year.
Tyson expanded on
I believe it. I mean, let's say you have 5 people maintaining the property, or 7 people. You know, cook, gardener, maybe 2 gardeners, probably 3 cleaners. And if you're paying them, like, you're in a big house, right? You got to pay them good money, otherwise they might start stealing crap. You got to pay each of them like $100,000 a year or more. You're that's over $700,000.
this in a different interview,
It's going to cost me $25,000 just to mow the lawn. Right?
which when combined with his other houses meant gardening bills alone mounted to $100,000. Although the gardener was still a minor expense,
That's what I'm saying. $100,000 a year. It's crazy.
compared to the things Tyson bought for these houses. As a gift for his first wife, Robin Givens, Mike spent $2.2 million on a solid gold bathtub, which was followed by their divorce less than a year later, which cost
A solid gold bathtub. So stupid.
Mike a further $10 million in legal fees and compensation. Tyson had also dropped $410,000 on a birthday party and $140,000 on 2 white Bengal tigers, which needed their own specialty enclosure, $200,000 a year worth of food, and their own animal
$200,000 worth of food for tigers? What?
trainer, which Mike hired at a cost of $125,000 a year. Mike also had to pay a friend $250,000 in compensation after they were bitten by one of the tigers, although there was another bite
I mean, that was kind of a given that you would have someone get bit by them.
that cost Tyson even more. During a match in 1997, Evander Holyfield headbutted Tyson, who in retaliation bit a portion of Holyfield's ear off.
Oh, that's how that happened? I never knew why that happened, but I guess here we go.
Tyson was disqualified and fined $3 million, although it seemed he had a
But, how much was he making from that fight? Like, if he was making $5 million, then he would still come away with $2 million.
learned his lesson, as he then bit Lennox Lewis's leg during a press conference, warranting another $335,000
He bit someone else's leg?
fine. In the process,
I think he needs to eat more before doing these events.
Tyson employed over 200 different people, including chefs, chauffeurs, and bodyguards, the most pointless of which being a guy nicknamed Crocodile, whose sole function was to dress in fatigues and repeatedly shout guerrilla warfare at Tyson's news conferences, for which
That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
He was paid $300,000 in 1996.
That is amazing. That is amazing. You know, I think you're seeing this stuff that Mike Tyson does nowadays. He definitely seems like he's more down to earth and whatnot, and that he does have like a good sense of humor, especially because he was on the Mike Tyson mystery show on Netflix or whatever, which is fantastic. If you haven't seen it, it's very funny and stupid. I really enjoyed it. So he does have a good sense of humor, and I think this guerrilla warfare, I think that shows that he does.
In another crazy instance, Tyson walked into a club and offered to pay for everybody's drinks all night.
Mike calls me over again. Ed, come here. I go, what's up, Mike? Tell the DJ I got the bar until the club closed. I said, what are you talking about? I'm buying the bar out. Everybody can have whatever they want.
However, there was one final expense that was higher than any other.
Do you regret anything?
Yeah, and I didn't pay taxes really.
He didn't pay taxes. Oh, that's that's a big no-no right there, Mike.
That'll get you, yeah.
It was revealed in 2003 that Tyson owed $13.4 million to the IRS, $117,000 to 5 different states, as well as $4 million to British tax authorities, and things only got worse from here.
That's so insane. Out of all the people that he had tons of people working for him. Why didn't he hire an accountant to deal with this crap for him? You know, he could have easily afforded it, to hire an accountant to just deal with this crap for him, and then hire someone that actually manages the money that will, you know, invest it properly, at least a portion of it. That way he's not going to go completely broke. Like, these are it's 2 things that he could have done, and it would saved him.
Yeah. Turns out most of Mike's luxury purchases were being made on credit, and as a result, he also owed $27 million to various different businesses, including $600,000 to a legal company, $500,000 to his finance manager, and $800,000 to a former trainer, all of which were stacked on.
You might want to try to sell that bathtub on Craigslist or something. Try to make some of that money back. Best I can give you $5,000, bro.
Top of a second divorce. Tyson owes money to at least 246 creditors, including the Internal Revenue Service, the Screen Actors Guild, and dozens of doctors, lawyers, and accountants. Tyson owes his ex-wife Monica Turner almost $9 million from their divorce, and he hasn't paid $19.4 million in taxes to the IRS, Great Britain, and 5 states, which was an extra large problem as Tyson was down to his last $1,250 in cash. Tyson, 38, said all of his houses have been sold or seized, and he owns only one car, albeit a white Hummer SUV, newly purchased and apparently not yet paid for.
What? What about all the crap he's bought? Like, all the cars that are his, even if they've taken it, shouldn't that wipe off a huge chunk of his debt, if not most of it? Like, how does he still owe so much money? Unless he's just been blowing it on stuff that... Because if you buy a car, yeah, it's going to lose value if you just have it in your driveway. Like, if you buy a Lambo with cash, you're probably not the brightest because it's losing value. Unless it's like one of the rare ones which will gain value, you just can't drive it or whatever, but it's losing value. But you could eventually sell it, and yeah, you might not get $400,000 or whatever for it, but you might get 150 or 200, and then you can use that. Like, what did all of his stuff get taken?
According to bank records Tyson's attorney submitted to the US bankruptcy court, Tyson earned $38 during January. His living
He might need to get a job at McDonald's at that point.
expenses during that month were more than $407,000. Mike Tyson
You earn $40 in a month, and then you spent $400,000. What?
was completely and utterly screwed. However, he devised a plan to get himself out of trouble.
Fighting Jake Paul.
Tyson's reorganization plan is ambitious. He hopes to earn at least $19.5 million from boxing over the next 3 years to help satisfy his creditors, although this isn't what would happen. In fact, he'd lose both of his next 2 professional fights before retiring from boxing and filing for bankruptcy. At the time he'd state, "My whole life has been a waste. I've been a failure. I just want to escape. I'm really embarrassed with myself and my life. I want to be a missionary. I think I could do that while keeping my dignity without letting people know they chased me out of the country. I want to get this part of my life over as soon as possible.
What age was he when this happened?
In this country, nothing good is going to come of me. I'm so stigmatized there is no way I can elevate myself. I'll never be happy."
I don't agree with that. You can change that and you can elevate yourself. It's all about what you actually think is possible and what you think of yourself. Who do you say that you are? If you say that no one's going to love me, no one's going to whatever, and you truly believe that, then that will pan out that way.
I believe I'll die alone. I would want it that way. I've been a loner all my life with my secrets and my pain. I'm really lost, but I'm trying to find myself. I'm a really sad, pathetic case. With nothing else to do, Mike spent his days caring for 350 unique pigeons, a collection
So that's where that came from?
which prior to bankruptcy, he'd paid $400,000 for. He'd later
What? How are they worth that much money?
liken his spending habits to a drug addiction.
It's like the drugs. You might as well say you have it all, but it's still that empty hole that you're trying to fulfill. You spend as much as you can to try to get that satisfaction, fulfill that hole. It just...
This is what people say when money can't buy happiness. No one believes it until they go through something like this. Right? Everyone's like, oh yeah, well give me the money then. And yeah, it can make your life easier if you're smart with it, but ultimately it doesn't fill that hole that a lot of people, have.
It's bottomless.
However, Tyson's life wasn't finished yet. Losing everything had taught Tyson a valuable lesson,
I know the power of humbleness now.
How did you learn that?
I have to lose everything.
with humility acting as a baseline for him to rebuild his life. Tyson took the lessons he'd learnt and transformed them into a book, whilst his life story was also the perfect premise for his own documentary. On top of this, Mike landed a cameo role in both The Hangover 1 and 2, for which he was paid $300,000.
There's also the Netflix show. Is he going to mention that? And the fight, but the fight just happened. It's not going to be in the video, obviously.
Through these various media appearances, Mike was able to rebuy himself a pretty awesome house in Vegas,
He hasn't learned anything. He hasn't learned anything.
although he refused to let money dictate his happiness.
Is there anybody that thinks a lot of money is going to make them happy? They never had a lot of money.
Because it don't make you happy.
Yeah, oh no, it's going to make you miserable. You can it can make you hate yourself.
Since then, Mike has launched his own extremely successful podcast called Hotboxin' and built a net worth of $10 million.
Well, there's this Netflix show too, where he's one of the main characters on. I don't know if they're still doing it because Norm Macdonald passed away, and he was one of my favorite parts of the show. But he's no longer here, so I don't think they're going to be doing that show anymore. At least I could be wrong. I don't know. But he had that show, which he should be getting paid for, as well as his recent fight, which he made a killing on, like $20 million. But if you said that he scraped his way back up to where he is now, but he's still spending money, still bought a mansion. Has he not learned anything? Let's hope he bought a mansion, but he also has put the money into something that's going to make him something. Some stocks or something that's going to generate income for him, so that way he can't go broke. Because it sounds like he hasn't learned anything, but I hope he has, because I really do like Mike Tyson. Anyway, hope you guys like this video. I actually really enjoyed this. I found this really interesting. I knew that he bit off whatever the guy's name is ear, and I didn't know why. And I guess I found out. And I guess it's true that he does have a whole bunch of pigeons. I heard that about him, but I didn't really know if it was true, but I guess it is. So that's very interesting. But yeah, hope you guys like this. Make sure you go subscribe to Sunny V2. And if you're new, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.